going on, guys? Welcome to J Powell Music. Be sure to like and subscribe here on the channel. Hit the notification bell so you know when these are available. And of course, I want to thank all my subscribers for subscribing to the channel. Really appreciate it. Obviously, if you are new to the channel, hello. This is a music think piece channel on various types of music. I'm a Mars Volta fan, as some of you who already know. Or if you might not know, it's where some of my videos have the most views or whatnot, but just a fan of music and love talking about just little things in my head as far as think pieces and whatnot. And today we are talking about Habibi funk. So if you ask yourself, Drill, what is Habibi funk? Well, I will tell you. I will tell you what it is. And I'm a huge fan of it. I came across it because I was listening to it was an album, I want to say, it kills me that I don't remember the name of this artist. Last name's Kamal. He was known to be the, before James Brown, it was this guy, who was the big inspiration. Last name's Kamal. If you remember, put it in the comments. But I came across that particular artist. Huge fan of that music, and I decided to go ahead. I'm gonna see if I can find this artist's name because it's driving me crazy. I decided to kind of dig deeper, and then I came across this Habibi funk, which technically Habibi funk, it is a record label. It's a record label in Germany, and the cool thing about it is that the record label in Germany, it's basically a compilation of worldly music's interpretation on like funk, disco, things like that. So like Algerian funk, Arabic like funk, like even when it comes to like different interpretations of different types of tracks, there's a really old, it's on Bandcamp. Bandcamp is the way to go, guys. If you guys want to support artists, bandcamp.com is really the way to go. But as far as bandcamp.com is where you can find a lot of these albums. So go to bandcamp.com. But anyway, but yeah, so that is what Habibi funk is. Technically, it's a record label, German record label, but it's a compilation of all these really awesome artists and just really amazing music. So if you want something that is just really rhythmically, just really, really fantastic, it is a great way to do it. The plane flying over my head, I apologize. Kamal Kiela, that is the gentleman's name I was referring to. So Kamal Kiela, he was known to be the James Brown before James Brown, essentially. He has an album called Muslims and Christians, and Habibi funk, the record label, they call it Habibi funk 008. So not sure what I'm assuming it's the 8th label that's a part of the record label. I don't know, but anyway, amazing music, and that is what it is. So I think it's incredible. Just when you're listening to it, to me it's powerful because, one, obviously when it comes to those languages, I don't know what they're saying. But the music you really feel a part of it. Like it sounds really great. It's really amazing musicians, and inspired by this music. And first you kind of get like a chicken and the egg conversation almost. Like it did funk originate around these areas and then it influenced in America, or vice versa, and I think it was vice versa, but it's just interesting hearing these interpretations. Kamal Kiela, his music has a very funky notion, or there's a few in that album, Muslims and Christians, very funky type of thing, and yeah, I'm obviously a huge funk fan, and I love finding music that is just really interesting, dope. And even if I don't understand it, even if I don't understand the lyrics because of the language barrier, I'll still get into the music. It'll still be fun for me to get into. You know what I mean? If music's good, it's good. That's always been my kind of notion there. So if you're a fan of Habibi funk, or if you're curious about Habibi funk, I highly recommend checking out the playlist on Spotify. If you just look up Habibi funk, How you spell Habibi, it's in the title of this video. But there's about 36 songs of Habibi funk, basically Arabic funk, disco, jazz, and more. That's the title of the playlist. That would be give you a good introduction. But I love it. I love it. I think it's awesome. I think it's amazing. And it really just influences. It's definitely influential to me. Just kind of hearing their interpretation of that music, right? I think when people think of funk these days, they either think of George Clinton, James Brown, or maybe just some of those great funk guitarists. You know what I mean? So to hear the interpretation from a worldly sense, I think it's really awesome. And then you can buy these albums again on Bandcamp. A lot of these Habibi funk records of just old bands and whatnot on there, which is pretty crazy. So pretty neat. So I wanted to share that because I think it's great. I mean, if you're a fan of music, jazz, funk, disco, what have you, and you want something that you can't understand from a lyric standpoint, but you love the music, check it out. I think that's a good one. Habibi funk music. So definitely recommend that, and I think that's probably why I'm a guitar player. So lyrics, I listen to last. Some people, they listen to music and the lyrics kind of pop in first before the instrumentation. So I think just as an instrument, I think just as a guitarist, I think of music first. And I think that's why lyrics are second nature to me. Obviously there's some songs where lyrics are very dependent, even goes back to the old days of like hymns and whatnot. But, since I'm really focused on the music, lyrics can be second nature. And even you could argue as well, where music back in the day, biblical days, people speaking in tongues, dancing and whatnot, did they know exactly what they were saying? Maybe not, but it was just kind of like a spiritual connection to the music, and I think that's awesome. And I think that's why I think of music first and lyrics. That's why I think when, even talking about James Brown, obviously there's lyrics in there, but when it comes to kind of the ad libs he's doing, you don't necessarily know what he's talking about or if he's speaking in English. But he's just really feeling the vibe, and he's just getting out these nuances along the record. It's almost like a sense of percussion. It's like verbal percussion, if you will. And that's why, there's a conversation in our some of our comment section here for J-Pop music, talking about the Mars Volta, as far as like, look, I don't understand what they're saying in the lyrics. I just don't connect with it. And that's 100% your prerogative. I completely understand. I can take it or leave it as far as for the lyrics. You know what I mean? I'm okay listening to an album. That I don't necessarily fully understand the context of, but if I know the music is good, obviously it gives me a whole other full, 360 context of like, what am I listening to? But when it comes to the music in general, a lot of times you can kind of feel at least the tone of it, right? Major, minors, you know what I mean? And kind of go from there, right? So, interesting convo. Let me know in the comments too what your thoughts are as far as, do you listen to music with and without lyrics or only lyrics? So that's kind of my thing. But anyway, again, Habibi Funk, check out the playlist on Spotify. I'm sure there's a playlist on Apple Podcasts or Apple Music as well. Yeah, J-Pop Music, be sure to like, subscribe here on the channel. I'll catch you guys next video. Thanks so much for supporting the channel. Really appreciate that.